This is the Snack Challenge, the UK's best food and drink business podcast. On this show, we hear straight from the entrepreneurs that founded them, all about some of the most interesting food and drink startups emerging in the UK scene. Today, we are joined by James Cadbury of Love Cocoa, and we're going to be hearing all about his chocolate business, how chocolate is in the blood in his family, how his family's legacy and history inspired him to set off on this journey of ethical chocolate excellence, what it was like to be on Dragon's Den, to win an offer from the Dragons and to walk away from it, and how his background as a city trader has given him many of the skills and the platforms to success that he's now built on in this business. Let's get to it. Hi, good morning. My name is Rich and we're Consumer Hub. This is the Snack Challenge podcast where we get into the details on reviewing and talking to some of the most interesting UK food and drink startups. And we're really excited today to have the guys from Love Cocoa on our podcast. We've got James Cadbury here, the founder. So James, tell us a bit about your business, yourself, your story, where you've come from, and all about why we should be loving Love Cocoa.
Morning. So we are Love Cocoa. I'm the founder. Love Cocoa sells delicious chocolate bars and truffles via our own website, via likes of Amazon, as well as big retailers like Liberty, Harrods, Plain Organic. And the inspiration behind Love Cocoa comes from my great-great-great-grandfather, someone called John Cadbury, who set up Cadbury's Chocolate back in 1824. Back then, it used to be just a very small little grocery shop, which started to do teas and coffees. They're pretty popular in the shop. So then they heard about the Spanish started to sell cocoa beans. It was made up of cocoa beans and spices. They apparently had gone over to Mexico and stole all their cocoa beans, which at the time was seen as like money, and sort of it was a godlike sort of thing, and gave you all sorts of powers apparently. And they heard about this, and being Quakers, they wanted to encourage people not to drink so much alcohol, so to drink other things. So Cadbury's basically bought this to the UK, and the hot chocolates were really popular. And off the back of that, they wanted to develop a chocolate bar. At the time, there's other manufacturers making chocolate bars, but they often put all sorts of weird sort of stuff in, like potato starches, or even worse, things like brick dust to give some sort of texture and flavour. Or I don't really know why you put brick dust in anything, but they apparently did. But Cadbury wanted to basically have something which was better and premium and purer. So they worked with the best chemists in the UK, and they developed this bar. And off the back of that, they were in all sorts of sort of medical journals as being this nutritious product. And off the back of that, they sort of grew and grew and grew. And I think the reason why they grew was, they really looked after their staff, their workers. They used to build a factory and like a village around it in near Birmingham called Bourneville. And that was really the backbone of how they grew. And everything they did was they were quite inventive at the time in terms of some of their advertising and some of their packaging. So it was very colourful and very different from what was on the market. So when I set up with Cocoa, the inspiration was always to sort of start and be a bit like Cadbury's when their business. Obviously, over time, it's now a different business. But when they started, it was very much on the sort of premium end and sort of giving back in terms of their ethics and sustainability. They even bought a newspaper in in the UK, which tried to stop a war in South Africa, and all sorts of amazing things like that, which don't really know about or hear about, but they were real forefronts of rights and sort of trying to make the world a better place, really.
Yeah. So you've got this amazing family history, chocolate in the blood, chocolate in the family, growing up with that story, and then you were a city trader. Is that right? So what made you have your aha moment? Or, was it kind of this crystal moment that you remember, or was it just kind of gradual sense of this is something I've got to do?
Yeah, so I guess I was just always super sort of interested and passionate about chocolate. I grew up by the factory in Bourneville, so I was only a couple of miles away. And I remember visiting a lot when I was a child on like school trips or birthday trips and stuff like that. And sort of you had that from day one. And when Cadbury's got taken over, nearly 10 years ago now, I was at university and wasn't ready to jump into the chocolate industry then. So I sort of went down the sort of usual path of getting like a corporate job. Ended up in banking and did that for a couple of years and ended up doing some trading, which was great. It was well-paid job and lots of job security, but I just wasn't passionate about it. So I wanted to do something which I was passionate about. So I decided to sort of jump back into the chocolate world. because I knew had an interest in that. And the other reason was at the time I was a big believer or a big subscriber to the likes of like the Grays box, which used to come through the letterbox, as well as I used to always get my mum Bloom and Wildflowers, and still do. But I got them for I think it was 2 years on trial, and I was like, I've got to buy something else. So I was looking for a chocolate company which sent stuff through the letterbox, and couldn't really see anybody at the time offering anything like that. So I decided to send some stuff myself. And then when we set the business, it was sending chocolate through the letterbox, writing a nice little gift message on it. Then over time, obviously, we've grown and sort of we now have lots of different retailers across the UK and around the world. I guess that was the sort of the start of the journey, really.
Yeah, and you've got a really strong direct-to-consumer showing still, haven't you, with good e-commerce sales, and you've kept on with the kind of ethical focus of the original kind of Cadbury's founders, haven't you? Because you guys do quite a lot with the Rainforest Foundation, is that right?
Yeah. So I guess e-commerce is where we started, and we sort of always been very much in our plans to grow that. I think it's super important for one, you can sort of reach lots of consumers directly and get feedback from them. So when we sort of launch new products, we can launch stuff and get feedback from them, get reviews, and tweak products and recipes as we need to. So I guess that's the sort of real benefit of that. Then in terms of sort of the ethics, the last couple of years we worked with Rainforest Foundation, giving 10% of our profits to them. What they do is guard against deforestation and lots of other things, amazing like that. The problem was that no one really knew all the great work that they do, or how much we were donating. It wasn't particularly clear. So this year we've actually changed that, and we'll be actually working with a company called Trees for Future. We're partnering with them, and as part of that, we're going to be planting a tree for every chocolate bar we sell. So this year we've got 500,000 trees which we're planting, and they're going to actually be planted by cocoa farmers. So rather than just planting a tree for sort of the sake of it, because it sounds and looks good, we actually decided to go a lot deeper than that and find cocoa farmers in Africa, in Cameroon, and they'll be planting trees. And the great thing about that is, one, they get paid for that, so it adds to their income. And two, they can get all the fruits of the labour from these trees. So typically they won't be planting cocoa trees because they've already got cocoa trees in their plantation. So it might be they're planting coffee trees, or they might be planting avocado trees. I think at the moment we're planting lots of avocado trees. So they'll be able to actually sell those fruits. And it also gives diversification within the crop, and it actually helps with the sort of the ecosystem, the wildlife, and also for any reason, if there was a disease which wiped out a load of cocoa trees, then at least they've got something else to fall back on. So that's really important. And it also encourages and helps stopping this deforestation, which a lot of the bigger consumers, sort of bigger companies, are really driving that. With the likes of, if you look at Africa, especially Ivory Coast, which is by far the biggest cocoa producer in the world. I think it equates about 70% of the world's cocoa comes from that region. And they had lots of issues there in terms of deforestation. So lots of people are clearing land to either palm tree plantations, or to just get rid of a load of rainforest and basically plant cocoa trees, which doesn't have that diversification. It's not really replacing what's there. So we want to give something back, and that's what we'll be doing this year. So every chocolate bar we sell from next month, we'll be planting a tree. We've already started to do sort of a soft launch, but we'll be doing like a big campaign around that. We've changed the packaging to sort of really promote that and tell people what they're doing.
Exciting.
So it really buys into that sort of conscious gifting or conscious treating feast.
So you can be, buying a nice gift for your mum, send it through the post, personalise it, and you can be helping out some farmers in Ivory Coast and Cameroon as well. So that's great.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's sort of just, you might be buying a chocolate tree, but you're also buying, you might be buying a chocolate bar, but you're also buying a cocoa tree or an avocado tree, whatever it might be. And that's going to really help with, climate change. Everybody's seeing a shift in the climate, and that's by planting more trees, that's going to really help with that, as well as help those farmers in the short term.
Brilliant. And so one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is you've been on Dragon's Den, haven't you? And how do you find that process?
Yeah, no, it was really good actually. It must be about, we actually filmed it probably 2 years to the day really. So I remember it was sort of just starting to get sunny. It was filmed up in Salford in Manchester.
Yeah.
I think it was literally the first bit of sun of the year, and so we got the day before. And then you sort of get taken to a hotel, and they get you up at, I think it was 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So it's an early start.
Yeah.
And then you go and set up your table, which takes an hour or so, and then you sort of by 9 o'clock you're sort of ready and we're sort of waiting, and then the producers will sort of go through a few different things with you. Then they'll say when you're on, I remember just waiting and waiting. They only sort of tell the person who's next on rather than sort of get the whole schedule. I was sort of waiting, and then I was the last, so I didn't get on until probably 6 p.m. 6:30.
Oh really? Wow! So you kind of sweating it out, waiting for it.
Yeah, and I had a lot of coffee, so I was all over the place.
Any chocolate? Any chocolate or just coffee?
I think it was just like cheap coffee, like the real bog standard sort of.
Less cap.
Yeah. I think so. And I got a bit of the jitters, but it was fine because it just gave me so much time to sort of prepare.
Yeah.
But then there's nothing like, when they tap you on the shoulder and say, right, you're going on in a minute. And that was when I was like, oh God, I need to practice this pitch one more time we had like a runner. Someone was looking after me, and I was like, can I practice one more time? He was like, yeah, you've been doing great all the time. Don't worry about it. I just couldn't remember anything. I was like, oh my God, I can't even say my bloody name. And then they're like, she's like, oh, just go and grab a glass of water. So got a glass of water and brought it back. I started drinking it, and she's like, well, don't want to worry you, but we need you in the lift. So I was like, oh my God, what we're doing. And I was in this lift, and I was I'm not religious, but I think I said a few prayers for everything. And then
Dragon's Den brought James Cadbury to faith.
Yeah, and you can hear all the dragons getting ready. They're all getting all the makeup done.
Yeah.
You can hear the word like personal makeup artist or whatever to make sure they look pretty. They didn't give anybody else any of that. But anyway, they were getting ready, and you could hear them, so I was getting more nervous. Then literally the doors opened, and you sort of go to walk to a spot. There's a little cross on the floor. I remember sort of walking my head down there, and then sort of looked up, and luckily they're all smiling. That gave me a lot of confidence, and from that I managed to get the pitch out, and it went really well. They try and make it a lot more dramatic after, so there was. The way they edit it, they completely changed everything around, but they're allowed to do that, and you sort of sign a contract to say that. So it came out really well. I was really happy with it, to be honest. And all the dragons were all like the product. They weren't too hard on me, to be honest. There's no sort of really hard questions. So it was a great experience. I definitely recommend anybody else to do it. It was completely out of my comfort zone, but it was, I hate doing presentations, anything like that, but now it makes me a lot more comfortable and sort of confident doing anything like that. So
you've literally been up against the dragons, so everything's easy now.
Yeah, exactly. So if you do that, you can do anything, and there's another 50 people in the room as well. So
you got investment as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we got a couple of offers. And sort of there's lots of negotiating on the show, so which they don't show you. They literally just show you the small parts of it. And we were negotiating for a while, and I went to the wall a couple of times. And Tage, we took his offer. Then after we sort of spoke to him for a while, and some of the things which we were expecting to get, or he was expecting to get, didn't really make sense. So we decided to sort of walk away from it. I think it happens, quite a lot to us.
Yeah, it does.
It just wasn't right for us, but it was a great platform, and we walked away and sort of shook hands, and Tage was a really, really nice guy. Actually, he completely understood and very down to earth, and he just wanted the best. So he wasn't sort of upset or annoyed or anything like that. I think it happens, and
Yeah, and did you find it was good for your brand, kind of getting the awareness through Dragon's Den? Did it boost it, just kind of having that kind of brand affiliation to that program?
Yeah, we definitely picked up a lot of online sales. So they sort of, I think on the day we had like, I can't remember, I think it was like 200,000 people on our website over the hour that it was on. Then after that, we had lots of interest. They get repeated as well, so it got repeated at Christmas this year. So that was really good. So it's definitely worth doing for that. And then lots of retailers see it off the back of it as well, so they got in contact. And it's also a nice story to tell, to be honest. So if you're sort of pitching to a buyer or to anybody really, you can sort of bring up the story, and you sort of can sort of affiliate with that and sort of understand it. And it's been a good experience to do. I certainly recommend it to anybody. And
Right.
there's nothing really to lose with it.
Yeah. So it's been really good, like hearing about where the idea for the business came from and your journey through it. I mean, one of the things that we've had as feedback on the podcast, and one of the things that seems to really interest our listeners is kind of hearing about what entrepreneurs see as the kind of the biggest high, the biggest low, and the kind of key learnings from that. What would you say has maybe been the biggest high, the biggest low, and if you had any advice for anyone listening who wants to set up a business, I mean, what would you give to them as advice from what you've learned from those highs and lows?
I say, I guess the biggest high is when you get a new sale, or probably the first sale was probably the nicest. When sort of I think when we launched, we got into Fortnum and Masons, and sort of going in there and sort of spying someone, I could see they bought the product without me sort of having to sell it to them. So that was a really good high. And then just sort of seeing continuing growing the business and seeing all your employees. So we've got a team of 5, so we're pretty small, but sort of seeing them sort of progress and develop, I sort of take pride in as well. And and seeing our revenue continue to grow every year, without we took a small amount of investment on crowdfunding a couple of years ago, but since then we haven't needed to raise any money. And to be able to grow sort of organically has been really pleasing. And I guess the lows are when things go wrong, all sorts of things go wrong. From packaging to manufacturing errors, and there's always going to be an issue. I guess it's just how you react to it and ensure it doesn't happen again, and try and guard against that, which is always hard. I think you just got to be a bit realistic that things will go wrong, and you got to work with your partners to sort it out, and don't take it to heart too much, because you're gonna have lots of bumps along the way, but fingers crossed things will come good at the end.
Yeah. Now that's interesting. It's been a bit of a theme in talking to the entrepreneurs that we've interviewed on the podcast, is that kind of bounce back ability that people talk, ability to kind of take a few knocks on the chin and get up and keep going. What advice would you have to people listening if they're thinking about setting a business up? Would you have any kind of advice that you wish you'd been given before you'd set up?
Yeah, I guess you just got to keep going once you've got it. I mean, we had a huge sort of issue at the start, which I won't get into details, maybe in 5 years' time. But it went to recall stock, and it was a nightmare. And off the back of that, it would have been easier to quit and just go back to the finance job. But I guess it sort of goes on. You've got to be passionate. If you're not passionate about your product or the industry you're working in, then there's no point doing it, because you're spending a lot of time doing it. You'll be working long days. You'll be working weekends. It takes a lot of effort, and if you're not passionate about it, you're never gonna make it, really. So that'd be the one thing I'd recommend. And then if you sort of looking for, if you're really at the start of your business, look at the crowdfunding to get investment. You can really raise money on that, and you can get quite a good valuation with all the tax initiatives. You could even look at a Kickstarter if you want to do that. And then if you look struggling to find manufacturing people, I always found that speaking to suppliers of packaging or raw ingredients is a good way to find them, because they obviously work with all the manufacturers. So that'd be a tip which I wish I knew about before. Then if you can, try and get a mentor, but I think trying to get a mentor is pretty hard, to be honest. And lots of people just don't have enough time to be able to do that. I think there's certain things like Virgin Startup. I think they have some sort of mentoring available, and just try and connect with, even just try and connect with someone who's say 2-3 years ahead of you in terms of your business, would be a good way to do it, because they've probably got a little bit more time, a little bit more flexible, and they've literally just gone through some of the pains you have. So if you get someone like that on board, and if you give them some options potentially, that'll probably be worthwhile sort of
That's really interesting point. I know when we spoke to Sarah Treckman at Well and Truly Snacks, she was saying that she definitely recommended networking with other food entrepreneurs, and sort of seeing what they've learned from their journeys. Have you found those networking events useful?
Yeah, there's loads of them. We're part of the Young Foodies and lots of different organisations like that, where they sort of bring lots of people within the industry together, and people are actually really helpful. People don't mind sort of sharing stuff and really trying to help each other, which is really sort of I found really sort of strange. Really, I didn't realise it was so open, and I think it's great that it is. I don't think that would happen in tech industries or stuff like that, where stuff's a bit more top secret. But even chocolate brands have always been quite sort of friendly with us, and
great.
it seems to be like it's a good community to be in, and as I said, most people are sort of open to a quick phone call or a coffee, and I always go for drinks and stuff with other entrepreneurs, and it's really good.
Great. Well, I've got the products here, so I'm going to get straight into trying them. So we ordered we got the gift set. So we've got let's see how the lights shows. So we've got salted caramel milk chocolate here, and then we've got Malden sea salt organic chocolate, and then there's gin and tonic as well, dark chocolate. That's probably a bit better that way. Which are these core flavours for you? Like, was there any of these originals?
Yeah, they're all sort of core flavours, I guess. I think we started the mint and the sea salt and salt caramel came a bit after. But there's we're looking at doing new products. We're always trying to sort of cater for the stuff people always want and always have. There's sort of looking a bit more wacky flavours. So we've got stuff like avocado chocolate. We've got a birthday cake flavour, prosecco and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I think consumers sort of want more and more interesting and innovative sort of flavours. So we're sort of constantly looking at what we can do and looking at different trends and sort of trying to work out what might get us a bit of PR and drive sales off the back of it, really.
Great. Which one would you recommend I start with? The original first, or? Yeah,
sea salt's probably most popular. I think you've got 2 great taste stars awards, I think it's called. Great taste, taste awards. Got 2-star, which is really good.
Smashing.
And that's we use like an organic chocolate from off that one. And then just add some Malden sea salt. So we work quite close to the Malden sea salt guys. We tried lots of different sea salt and we thought that was the best. They've been going around for years. It's such a cool brand, so it's great to be able to collaborate with them really on that one.
What where'd you get yours? You had it manufactured quite locally in London, do you? Your chocolate?
No. So we work with a few different manufacturing partners throughout the UK. So depending on which product it is, we'll order with them, sort of thing. So it's really good that we can sort of turn around stuff really quickly by working with UK manufacturers, and it also means that we don't have to worry about manufacturing. So as a startup, I think it's, especially if I haven't come from the chocolate industry before, to sort of take on manufacturing would be a really big, strong ask. So we sort of try to keep it simple to start with and just focus on marketing and sales.
Right.
Potentially look to manufacture, but that's probably a couple of years away at least before we sort of go down that sort of avenue.
That is fantastic chocolate, James. I'm really enjoying that. I've never had one with sea salt before, and it's absolutely fantastic. It goes so well with dark chocolate.
It just really works, doesn't it? It's sort of that saltiness and sort of brings out the sort of sweetness in all the flavours. And it goes really well with a beer or a glass of wine as well, because that sort of saltiness just makes you want to drink more as well and quicker. So you have to save some for later. Yeah,
I will definitely save some for later. My wife is not going to thank me if I eat all this chocolate now. So I shall save from. You can hear my kids in the garden. Sorry about the noise. They've been let out for wild time. So on the back of all your boxes, you've got pairings, haven't you? Which I really like. Really stood out to me because I've never seen a chocolate with a pairing on the back before for alcoholic drinks. Great idea. Sea salt here says, pair it with a medium-bodied red wine. I'd absolutely recommend that. Saturday evening, if anyone's watching and they're doing a Zoom quiz, pub quiz with any friends, or on the Poker Face app, it's a great treat for you. Get on it. Which would you recommend I try next then, the salted caramel or the G&T?
I like the salted caramel. That's my favourite actually. So we use a Dominican chocolate, which is quite sort of creamy and milky. And then we add some salt and some caramel, and that's sort of really, really, really nice. It's a bestseller, and we get lots of great feedback on that one. I'd go with that.
So we've got the salted caramel here to try, and you were saying that's a personal favourite, is it, James?
Yeah, it's good on that one. So the sweetness and the saltiness, really, really good. It's really hard not to eat the whole chocolate bar though. So that's the only problem with that one. It's no, it is really good. We get lots of great feedback for that one. Salt caramel is such a popular flavour. It still continues to grow and grow and grow. It's it's really nice, that one.
That is great. It's very Moorish, and you certainly need a big box of willpower to go alongside that chocolate bar.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
And it says on the back, pair it with champagne. Yeah, I think I could go for that.
Yeah. I think I came up with all these pairings, so I sort of taken them, but it's just stuff I would recommend or like to drink with them. So yeah, a glass of champagne, why not? Crack one of those open. It's getting sunny now, isn't it? So if you've got a garden, then grab a glass and a bit of chocolate. It just always makes the place look a better place, the world a better place.
Might get some champagne out for me and the missus on our patio in a bit. Have some lunchtime champers and salted caramel chocolate. Needs to be done.
Yeah, quarter to 12. So yeah,
about time, isn't it?
I reckon.
It's been a few hours.
Exactly.
And then the next one we've got is the G&T. Which I've got to say, I don't know if you can see on the camera there, but it's really nice packaging. It's got a little G&T bottle with a love heart on. And this has got a great taste award as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. So our gin tonic is really popular as well. It's you use juniper and a bit of lime to sort of replicate that sort of botanical smell and flavour of a gin. And it's gin's obviously grown massively over the last 3-5 years, whatever it might be, and it continues to grow. So we just wanted to create sort of a non-trend product, which is gifty, but also tastes good. It's very botanical. You get that sort of lots of different flavours coming through.
Flavours really in the nose.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good one. It's quite a smooth chocolate as well.
Yeah, that is really different. I've again never had anything like that before. It's kind of got really fresh lemon, like almost like a lemongrassy kind of flavour to it. We've got like a really kind of nice. It's just really in the nose. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a bit different. So it's a really good gift. We see a lot of people buying it as a gift. Just a nice little present for someone.
Yeah, company with a green tea. Yeah, I could see that going down. Well, my both my sister-in-laws are gin nuts, so I think some of the Love Cocoa gin chocolate could be a bit of a must-have for birthdays.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. So where can people buy your stuff from then? I'd highly recommend anyone watching to go out and try some.
At the moment, I'd recommend Amazon or our own website. We're fully stocked up there. Well, we should be fully stocked up. We've had a few, with the coronavirus, we've been a bit low stock, but we should be fully up and running in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll go to our website, which is www.lovecocoa.com. You can see lots of our different, chocolate bars and truffles and whatever else on there. Yeah,
what do you find is more popular, the truffles or the chocolate bars?
Depends where we're selling it, but overall, sort of truffles is growing quite a lot. We're trying to bring out a lot more gifty products like that as well. So that's our focus over the next 6 months, is to really gear up to Christmas, where people are looking for presents and stuff like that. We had a really good Christmas last year. We launched like Christmas chocolate flavoured bars, which were super popular. So we're looking at doing more stuff like that. I think the looking to do like nuts and stuff like that as well, and just lots of different things. Which
some cocoa covered nuts, chocolate nuts.
So we've done all the testing. We were ready to go with that, but again, we've been a bit slowed down by coronavirus. But we did I went up to our manufacturer a couple of months ago and did all the MPD with them, and they were unbelievable. It was so good.
Great.
So really looking forward to getting those up and running in the next couple of months. And we've got a lot of new MPD. The great thing about this coronavirus is, nothing's great about it, but you know what I mean. The good thing about it just gives you a lot more time to sort of focus on strategy and to new product development. So it's actually been really good for us as a business to really understand what we're trying to achieve, and who our customers are and what they want, and to sort of grow off the back of that. So for us, it's been quite a welcome pause to sort of reflect on what we're doing well, what we're doing badly, and
time to work
what we
on
can
the business,
just improve on sort of things. So
Great. So you kind of some more exciting products in the pipeline for people to keep their eyes peeled for. Some nuts as well going to appear. Any other exciting plans and developments that is sort of worth people being aware of? Keep their eyes on.
So it's just looking to just continue to expand the range and to continue to grow as a business. And we're really proud of planting these 500,000 trees this year. So we're looking to continue to do stuff like that and to give back to the industry and to the environment. And to grow as a company really. So that's what we're looking to do.
Great. Well, James, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Really enjoyed hearing more about the business, and thank you for all the learnings that you've shared with our listeners. If you've been watching this and you enjoyed it, please go and follow Love Cocoa on LinkedIn and have a look at their different social feeds. Check out their website, try some of the products, follow what they're doing. If you like what we've done today, give us a like and a follow and a share, guys. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. Let us know in the comments below if you have any suggestions. Click the link on the left to check out a playlist with similar videos to this series and check out the one on the right to watch our previous upload. Thanks again and see you soon.